Welcome back to Rika's Deserved Purgatory. I hate her. I hope she burns.
It's like it's only been a minute since we stopped recording, man. He's still on there.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be like an episode. Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah. It was an hour and 45 minutes. That's an episode.
Yeah. You know what? I want you to imagine the real headcanon is that I have just been fuming about Rika since between last episode and this episode. I'm carving into my walls. I'm fucking pissed.
It's gonna be this guy's fault because we don't finish Raiders today.
What did I do? Oh yeah. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. It'll be
Echo
fine.
keeps getting delayed. Fuck.
We're right there. It'll be fine.
Whatever dates is like the deadline. If we have one session between then and the end of Ho Plus, it's all day, baby. We're not done until we're done.
Yeah, I can do that. It's just my parents decided, hey, we're gonna do something every single week this month. And
you're griefed every month. There's no like month you're not griefed on.
You've seen my calendar for this month.
I know. I've seen your calendar.
And
Yeah.
and that's with like I should have more on there that I just didn't write. Dude, Thursday alone, I like woke up, did shit with Jack like all day, did shit with Pat for like 3-4 hours, and then fucking did shit with Andrew for like another 3-4 hours. It's like
I don't have the social battery you do. Oh my god.
I just kind of wing it. You just kind of go, all right.
There would be a point where
Call me on you,
There
bro.
there would be a point where the little Japanese man in my head could be switching off.
See, that's for when I get home, because then I get home and I go, Sichi off, or it hits me days later, like how I went to bed at 10 o'clock last night, because I watched Ruby with Valk and Peter, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna get up and do something. I like put my dishes up, like used the bathroom, came back and went,
Yeah, I'm done.
I'm going to bed.
Bye.
And like I watched, I think it's because I watched a video about Bo Burnham that spun me into depression, and I just said, fuck it, I'm going to bed. Dude, I gotta send you this shit. It was so fucking good. It's just the guy going over his whole career and how Bo Burnham's entire career leading up to Inside is the setup for the punchline. And how Inside is the punchline of his entire career. And because Bo Burnham spent his entire career basically telling people, don't get famous as a kid, don't get an audience, don't get famous online, it fucking sucks. Don't fucking do it. And then Inside is, hey, here's all the horrible fucking effects that being famous has caused to me. And then I highly doubt he will ever put anything out ever again. And that, I watched that video, and like watching that video and thinking about it, I was like, so that's why I've hated Bo Burnham for fucking years. I was like, this makes so much more fucking sense. And just like everything about that video hit absolutely right. And I was like, fuck, man, I've spent all day trying to figure out what video game to play. Now I'm depressed and I'm tired. Bedtime, I guess. Call me Rika, dude.
Okay.
Maybe that's
Speaking
why I
of
hate her.
Rika,
Me? Segway? What? No.
I hoped Sadako would be there when I woke up that morning. I'd hoped this baffling world was just a half-awake dream of mine. So when I awoke, not to a familiar ceiling, but to the one in the Furude main house, I could feel nothing but disappointment. My mind hazy, I recalled the situation I'd been put into. Thanks to my own carelessness, I gotten lost in this strange world. This is a new track. I've never heard this before.
Oh.
Unused power couldn't reach here, so it would be incredibly difficult to escape. It was like trying to climb up the spider's thread to paradise. But the spider's thread was still there. No matter how thin it was, its presence meant there was still a chance to discover what was blocking Hanyu's power. And I didn't even know what it looked like. The only possible clue was that Hanyu was the deity of Hinamizawa, so it's probably in the village somewhere. You have a year, find it.
On God, like...
I picked up the crystal ball, which I'd snuck out of the ritual implement storehouse. The ball gave off a weak and somehow unnatural light. I pressed it to my forehead, and could sense a faint presence that only I, as a witch, could feel.
Oh, she's such a larper. I hate her.
I was sure that whatever I needed to find, I would get the same feeling from it as this. But again, like the crystal ball, I'd probably have to hold it to my forehead to feel anything.
It's a gun, Persona 3.
It didn't seem like things would be as simple as wandering about until I felt something. But if it was related to Hanyu's power, like that crystal ball was, it was almost certainly in the storehouse. Unfortunately, the storehouse was a complete mess of everything from ancient torture devices, to piles of old documents, to mountains of trash I didn't even know how to use. The only place with any semblance of cleanliness was the space around the vessel and the altar. Finding anything, especially an object as small as this crystal ball, would be no simple matter. Rika! Eat your breakfast and hurry to school!
Yeah, Rika.
I heard my mother's voice from the kitchen. The school in this world wasn't the one I went to. If I had the time to go somewhere I didn't belong, then I should be using it to search the storehouse. But there was no proof my search would only take 1 or 2 days. I really hated to say it, but since I didn't even know what it looked like, maybe I needed to prepare myself for the search to take years. If I didn't go to school, GA, ever conscientious, would call the house to see if I was staying home that day. If that happened, it would cause trouble with both the school and my parents. I couldn't imagine how much time this search would take. If my parents grew suspicious, things would get harder. Slow and steady wins the race, I guess.
See, ironically, this world making Rika a total loser fucking loner fits great, because she's going to be a loser loner to try and find all of the shit that she needs to find.
Mm-hmm. Although it was frustrating, for weekdays it would be better to pretend I was going to school like normal. I let out a languid sigh, got up and decided to eat breakfast. During mealtime, my mother's ramblings about how I was never allowed to go into the ritual storehouse again steadily made the food taste worse. My mother was always insistent and long-winded. I hated this part of her. The elders in the village laughed and said she couldn't help it, since she did it for her only beloved daughter. But to me, she was just a nuisance. Tough love wasn't what I needed at the moment. The only thing I could be thankful for was, maybe, that I didn't have to make breakfast for myself. But I couldn't do it on my own, so I almost would have rather she left it to me. After I was done eating and started getting ready for school, my mother continued to nag me about making it on time. How aggravating. Maybe going to school wasn't so bad. I wouldn't have to see my mother's face for half a day. I thanked her for the food, cleaned my plate and utensils in the sink, and left immediately for school. If everything was going to portray my expectations anyway, I wish class would too. But even in this world, class went the exact same way as the world I knew. I thought I'd escaped that world, and now it was repeating. Thinking that way made me feel even more listless. Normally I'd distract myself by teasing Sadako, but her seat was far away from mine. She was probably also so bored with class she didn't know what to do with herself. Satoshi, earnestly studying in the next seat over, was constantly trying to get her to focus. Mion seemed to be butting into Reina's business too, but they weren't fooling around. Speaking of Mion, what do you think the dice between the Sonozaki sisters? What do you think? How that ended up?
Omega Brain take? This is Mion.
Mion?
Actual Mion.
Actual Mion?
Like Shion.
Mm-hmm. Before swap Mion?
Yeah. This is like actual Mion.
Mm-hmm. That means it's like Shion is actually at St. Lucia.
Yeah.
She got sent there.
Well, it's either that or this is Shion and actual Mion was able to get away with never having to go to St. Lucia's and just got sent to Okinawa instead. Because clearly, everyone is nicer in this universe, and everything has gone well. Which means, if this is, like, identical to Shion, I'm just calling them their birth names. If this is identical to Shion, then Mion probably never had to go to St. Lucia's, never had to deal with any of that shit, was accepted in the main house. But they were like, look, we can't have both of you here. Where do you want to go? And, okay, I want to go to Okinawa. And still is, like, great buddies with Kasai and, like, goes to Okinawa and does shit in school and does all that.
Shion, OG Shion with Kasai, and
Would
power
be
powerful.
Crazy. Are you kidding me? That shit would be insane. Or, one step further, that's how it happens. Well, no, because Mion doesn't seem to be, like, head over heels for Satoshi here. So that's how we know this is Shion, and this is not Mion. As in birth Shion.
No, but how much of the circumstances of Shion and Satoshi meeting is, like, contributes to her infatuation with him?
Oh, that's true. Well, because how does Shion, now talking Mayakashi Shion, how does Shion first bump into Satoshi?
You don't remember?
It was...
OG Shion, or?
Oh, because she's getting
The same way she
bullied.
first bumped into Keiichi.
Yeah, she's getting bullied in the streets, and then Satoshi walks up and does some shit.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this is Shion Mion. As in, like, OG Shion as Mion. And not OG Mion as Mion, you know? Very easy way for Yukishi
So
to let us
they
talk
are
about
swapped,
this.
is it what you're saying?
Yeah, I think they're swapped.
Okay.
I'm going to say that they're swapped. This is OG Shion, and OG Mion is just, like, having fun with Kasai and Okinawa. And never had to go through, like, St. Lucia's.
Mion seemed to be butting into Reina's business too, but they weren't fooling around. It was a strange though pleasant sight. They were helping one another learn. Actually, they weren't the only pleasant sight. Everyone in the classroom was like that. I felt like I was the only one left out. I didn't know whether my seat was in its own row because of the odd number of students, or I'd chosen the seat on purpose in this world, but it felt like my seat was separated from the rest of the classroom. When lunchtime came, I felt even more alienated. My classmates formed groups with friends and took out their food. The club members who always eat with me weren't here. Sadako was part of a circle of several friends, including her brother. There was no place for me to wedge myself into. Mion and Reina were sitting face to face as they ate. No room for me there either. And nobody asked if I wanted to eat with them. And they had fun eating their own meals, so this seemed natural, like it was something that happened every day. For a short while I waited, hoping for Sadako or Mion or Reina to invite me over. After the clock's minute hand moved 5 and then 10 places, I realized I might even be left behind in eating, and finally gave up and opened my bento box. Inside were the leftovers of last night's burned hamburger steak and white rice with nori seaweed that was now sticky, spinach wrapped with gooey nori, and the remains of kinpira with chopped burdock root, also burned. Sure, Mom cannot cook. What the fuck?
Rika's mom sucks.
No wonder she knew Rika didn't learn cooking from her. Oh my god.
Burn everything.
I guess I'd forgotten about that. For some reason, my mother overcooked everything. Summer is dangerous if you don't let the heat in, was a favorite phrase of hers. She would cook steaks until they were rock hard, and even when she made fish, she turned half their insides to ash. Even Sadako was better than that. At least she knew how hot to cook things. And when I learned how to cook from Hanyu and started to make things better than my mother, she must not have been happy.
Yeah, I forgot Hanyu's just her mom.
It tasted terrible, too. No presentation, either. If Mion decided to have a bento contest, and I only had this, I'd end up in last place. But there was no club in this world, so I didn't have to worry about that. God, fuck off.
He's dying over there.
Or the bubbles just come out of nowhere in my... I don't know what's happening. I'm just drinking water.
Buddy's the fucking bubbler for Miraculous, man.
Fuck! I'm the dot guy from Suicide Squad.
Polka Dot Man?
Polka Dot Man. Sadako's happy... Fucking cut that joke. It's terrible.
That's funny. No, that joke's funny. Keep it in.
Sadako's happy laughter not being directed at me made me feel sad. Suddenly, our eyes met. Did my feelings get through?
Hell no.
Sadako burst out of her seat and glared at me.
Yeah, what are you staring at? If you have something to say, say it.
I don't have anything to say. Stop it, Sadako. You happened to look at each other, didn't you?
It didn't just happen. She was staring at me this whole time. It was getting gross. Come on.
Sadako and her friends began whispering amongst themselves while looking at me. I couldn't hear what they said, but I could easily imagine them enjoying themselves. I'm sorry. I won't stare at you.
I hope not. You were making my cream croquettes taste worse.
I angled my desk a little so that I couldn't see Sadako and the others. At first I had called this world Sadako cold, but it looked like I was mistaken. This world's Sadako either didn't like me, or outright hated me. And the other kids close to my age seemed to have formed a community around her, with no place for me in it, so they all hated me too. The hardened, ash-like steak tasted of salt. Why did I have to feel this sad and lonely when I ate? And all of the other worlds, all the club members would be enjoying lunch together. Sadako would be there, and Rena, and Mion, and Keiichi. Everyone would be having fun, and spending their break cheerfully and noisily. That was when Reina came over and peered into my bento box. Rika-chan, you have steak and spinach for lunch today? That looks good. It was clear that Reina had come over to try and comfort my distress. And for some reason, that was frustrating, so I didn't want to answer her. When I stayed silent, she held out an octopus-shaped sausage in front of me. I'll trade you spinach for my octopus, okay? Reina, trying to be nice as I ate lunch alone, hated by my classmates. I just couldn't accept it. I suddenly said I was going to wash my hands, then left, and in the bathroom stall covered my face with toilet paper and cried. The tears soaked through the paper and crinkled it up, but I didn't care. This was fine. It was better if I didn't have friends in this world. I had plenty of friends in the one I needed to return to. There, even Sadako was my irreplaceable best friend. All the club members, who would never leave me alone during lunch hour, were waiting for me. Why would I be sad that some Sadako I didn't know was being mean to me in a world I didn't care about? Why would I be? But despite the lies I told myself, I couldn't stop crying for a while. I decided to steel my resolve and wait for school to end. Then I'd run back home, say I was going out to play, and sneak into the ritual implement storehouse again. That was the only way I could get back to my original world. I had to try to do my best for that purpose alone. Okay. I looked into the mirror of the bathroom to see a red face from crying. If Chie saw me like this, things would probably get even more complicated. I washed my face and spent the rest of lunch break quietly in a corner of the classroom.
A based Rika pulls out a notebook and starts planning.
After school, I literally dashed out of the building. It would have been a huge pain if I ended up caught in the rush of the other classmates as they headed out to go play. I think Satoshi called after me, but I ignored him. He's probably just trying to apologize for his sister about what happened during lunch. I didn't care about that. I didn't want to stay in this horrible world a second more than I needed to. I ran full speed back to the house, ignored my mother when she asked, as usual, if I had any homework, and searched for a lantern. Then I told her I was going out to play, and without waiting for a response, burst out of the house. Then I ran around the shrine and looked for my father. I saw a note hanging on the assembly hall that said there was a shrine association meeting. I could hear my father's voice amidst the light-hearted chatter. It was the same opportunity I had yesterday. Today, I'd had to be careful not to let on that I was inside. After making sure nobody was looking, I climbed up the tree I'd gotten the hang of yesterday. I'd been scared of the height before, but I wasn't afraid any longer, probably because I cried my eyes out and resolved myself during lunch. What I really had to be afraid of wasn't heights, or my parents, or the cold-hearted Sadako. It was not being able to reach my original world. The next scariest thing will be losing contact with Hanyu, I think. In the darkness of the storehouse, I took the crystal ball out of my pocket. Its weak glow seemed a little more energetic than yesterday. Maybe she rested, or if her power would come back. Nevertheless, it was still weak. If I wasted it on fruitless conversation, the light might go out entirely. I firmly squished down the desire to check and make sure that I could still call her and turned on the lantern. It was time to go treasure hunting. Was there anything around, anything only I could feel? Something that felt the same as this crystal ball, somewhere. I closed my eyes, honed my senses, and hoped. But all I heard were the cries of the cicadas. I hadn't expected anything else. It looked like this would be a tough nut to crack. Too optimistic. Phew. Searching the entire storehouse. How much time would it take? I didn't want to imagine it. But I had to do it, or I couldn't go home. I'd do it systematically, start in the corner and go in order. Without knowing what it looked like, I'd start in the corner and go from there, not even letting water pass. And despite all that, I had no proof it was even in here. I felt like it would be easier just to fight Takano and the mountain dogs again. We're just going through her routine now.
Uh-huh. I mean, what the hell does she have to comment on? Nothing.
Being depressed.
She does that anyways. Rika's day, wake up, eat god-awful food, be miserable, get yelled at by Sadako, go home, loot storehouse, be miserable.
I don't think it's gonna get any weaker. I can hear your voice about as loudly as I could before. I think it's Hanyu, then Rika.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to get any weaker. I can hear your voice about as loudly as I could before.
Which means, like always, it'll only get to you weakly. I guess there was no need for us to chat.
No, I think chatting is exactly what you need to do right now, Rika.
Maybe. Thanks. I'll talk now. I'm pretty sure I searched the storehouse as well as I could, but I have nothing. I searched for about a week, but I don't even know what the thing I'm searching for looks like. And even if I did find it, I might have put it down again without realizing it.
Ow, ow.
Honestly, this is really hard. If only I knew what it looked like, or had some proof it was in this storehouse. Being locked in here for so long is going to make me go crazy.
I understand. I know it's a very difficult search. I'm doing my best too, to see if I can at least find out what the fragment looks like.
And? Did you find anything out?
Rika, in your world, fragments are interpreted as feelings. When those feelings reside in something, they become fragments.
I understand the logic, but that doesn't give me much of a hint.
Ow! And as for how to return the fragment to this world, I think that it needs to lose its form in that world.
What does that mean? Do I have to break it?
Yes, and completely. If it's lost from the human world, you can send it to the world of the gods.
Do you know about the law of conservation of matter? It's impossible to destroy something completely.
Well, that's why I'm saying you only need to destroy its form. Understand, Rika? Even in ancient times, people use methods like this to send things to the gods.
Burn it.
I
see. Alright. A way ancients sent tributes to the gods. A way to get rid of something from the human world. You're telling me to burn it. Burn it into ash and send it into the sky.
That's right. By burning something to ashes, it loses its form, loses its meaning, and vanishes from the human world.
Burn the storehouse.
Not against it.
I see. So I need to burn whatever is housing the fragment. I pray that it is easy to set on fire. If it was a boulder, I'd have to throw it into a blast furnace or something.
Actually, Rika, the fragment might not only be in an object, it's possible it could be in a person, too.
I see. Because as fragments are feelings. They might not only reside in objects, but Hanyu. If it was a person, what would I do? You're not telling me to burn them to ash, I'm sure.
The meaning of a human disappears the moment they lose their life.
That would make sense. Corpses aren't people anymore. So if the fragment is residing in a person...
Ow, ow.
I'd believe, until now, I'd been searching for an object. But maybe it doesn't even have to be that. I'd have no problem burning an object. But if it wasn't an object, but a person...
Based on you saying kill Sadako?
I don't like this. This world, for some reason, only the bad ideas turn out to be true.
I can only pray it doesn't turn out like that.
If only bad ideas turn out to be true, then I could take advantage of that and search there first. If it was a person, they'd be closely related to Oyashiro-sama, right?
Yes, most likely.
Is it possible it's me?
No, it isn't. If you were the fragment rejecting me, you wouldn't be able to talk to me right now.
Which means, next is my father, head priest of the Furude Shrine, and my mother, carrier of the Furude lineage. If it was one of them, I'd just have to kill them, right?
Ow, ow, ow! I'm telling you, bro, it's gonna be your mom. And it's gonna be fucking back to Hanyu's bullshit.
My human morality refused the idea of killing my parents. But it was nothing a world-crossing witch needed to think about. For someone with a true world somewhere else, this was a false world, meaning it was the same as a dream. Murdering someone in a dream was no different from doing it in a delusion or a daydream. There was nothing to consider about committing the sin of this world. Hanyu was making sad ow-ow noises, so I told her how I felt. Stop being such a hypocrite. Would you rather give up on returning to our original world?
Ow, ow, ow.
You're a coward. You're going to force me to dirty my hands while never dirtying yours. Convenient, isn't it? If you can blame it all on one person, nobody else will be marked with sin. I'm the perfect human sacrifice. I felt those words were a little harsh on you. For a short while, she remained silent, not saying anything. But her breathing made it sound like she wanted to say something, but was hesitating.
This is... Rika? Yeah, Rika.
I want to go back to the final world. Rena said this once. I wonder how much we're allowed to struggle in order to be happy. I didn't think there was a limit to that effort. But Keiichi changed that. There's no limit to effort. But you have to talk to a lot of people to get their advice on whether your efforts are misplaced or not. That's why I was talking about it with Hanyu, the only one who shared my current situation. And Hanyu said that if the object possessing the fragment was a person, I had to kill them. I'd want to avoid that, of course, if there were any other way. But if she said that was the only way, then I wouldn't hesitate. That was all. Nope.
I want to go back too.
Yeah, me too.
I'll be praying that the fragment isn't held by a person.
Please do. I will too. And I apologize. I was too hard on you. All you can do is look for clues and keep my spirits up so I don't get discouraged. I didn't understand how annoying it must be not to be able to look for the key yourself.
It isn't as hard as it is for you, Rika. The only thing I can do is at least be here to care for you so that your heart doesn't tire out.
Thanks. These idle chats with you are the most enjoyable thing about this world. It's like I wake up from the nightmare for a few minutes.
Ow, ow.
I see. I sort of understand why she said chatting could be important.
I love how Hanyu is like a D tier character when they first introduce her, and then every game Ryukishi makes her better.
This whole like dynamic is what makes me love Rika so much.
Well, it's
Just the depressed, like, 1,000-year-old witch has only one person to confide in.
and that person is criminally fucking stupid. And a like gajillion-year-old god who is criminally fucking stupid.
And incompetent, but she also does care.
Yeah,
And
she cares so much.
She cares so much, and she's there for Rika because she knows without Hanyu, Rika would be. Who knows where Rika would be at this point, right?
Still in June of 1983 fighting Takano. Hell, she probably wouldn't even know it's Takano.
She probably wouldn't get out of bed.
Yeah. Rika just would any percent speedrun.
Or just be
dying in every
dead
world.
without, like, the time looping, right?
Yeah. Well, and that's... I talked to Dylan a little bit about, like, Hanyu, and I'm like, I really like that Ryukishi added Hanyu to the game. Because Hanyu fucking sucks when they first add her, because it doesn't make any sense. But the more the story develops, the more you realize Rika needs Hanyu to ground Rika. Like, Hanyu is a weird, crazy, paranormal character, but she's also the only character in the entire game that grounds Rika. I don't think Rika grounds Hanyu, like, in the story and in the lore and everything like that. I think Hanyu grounds Rika.
She's the foil for Rika.
Yeah.
Like, she's the crazy paranormal, crazy thing that creates a bunch of random ass plot holes for no reason. But also, she's a really good character.
She's the only way Rika makes sense. And that Rika can function.
She's like the good. Fuck my words.
Antagonist.
I said foil earlier, but
Yeah, she's just good.
it's important to give Rika someone to
Vent.
to rely on. Hanyu was the only one I could talk to from my original world. If I lose contact with Hanyu, maybe my very connection to that world would weaken, and my memories would blur. And that would simply give birth to a miserable, broken-hearted girl, living a delusion that this world wasn't the one she belonged in. Leave it to me. I swear we'll go back there together. You keep looking around for any clues you can find. If there are any developments on my end, I'll contact you again.
I understand. Rika, hold it together. Go for it. Yay. Remember? Yay.
I couldn't hear Hanyu anymore. The crystal ball's light had grown weaker than ever, but as long as it had its otherworldly glow, then I could keep believing this wasn't the world I was supposed to live in. Before, I might have shed a tear or two by now, but all the tears I could cry had dried up. I gripped the crystal ball tightly, savoring the cheer Hanyu had given me. Do your best. Go for it, yay. I moved over to a spot with a pile of old documents. If it could interfere with Hanyu, it had to be related to the legends of Yashiro-sama. So maybe, I thought, a clue would be written in one of the documents in that pile. Maybe even if the thing I searched for wasn't in here, I could find a clue to it instead.
What if she's gotta find the fucking sword?
I don't know.
That shit would go crazy.
I took a few documents from the pile and packed them into the knapsack I brought with me. I could read some, but couldn't understand any of the others. If something important was in one of the indecipherable ones, I would have no other way of knowing. But I shouldn't think about that right now. I pulled out the documents I could read and decided to read them in secret at school and in bed.
Man, being at school is being in secret at school.
As I went in and out of the storehouse, the chances of my parents finding out increased. In that sense, this would lower that risk, which made it a little easier for me. Maybe parents did understand their children best, and would be the first ones to help them. But that was when they were normal, and not a witch like me. If their daughter started babbling about not being from this world, they'd probably tie her down and summon a noisy ambulance. If I were a little more cunning, I could flatter my parents and put the work in to make this world a little more bearable. But the more I thought about this world not being the one I lived in, the more apathetic I felt towards interacting with those who were here. That was probably why it seemed like I was being more and more isolated in class. Of course, maybe you could say that it was my own fault. That was the kind of world this was at the moment I arrived. I won't dare let anyone say that this is my fault. Of course, not a single person could tell the difference between Rika Furude and me anyway. Who is me? The me that isn't Rika Furude. Who is she? I came around to a quiet, electronic beep. I looked at my watch and noticed it was already evening. Being in here had made me lose track of time. The other day, I was out way past curfew and was scolded for a long time. The alarm on my watch was to prevent that. Letting my relationship with my parents grow any worse would make everything else seem troublesome. I should call it quits for today. With practiced motions, I climbed a bundle of chains and headed toward the exit in the roof. When I returned to the main house, surrounded by the cries of Higurashi that I'd grown completely tired of, there was a tightly packed case of beer near the front door, and 3 bottles of wine.
Oh, fucking do it, Rika.
The beer case was probably for a drinking party at the Shrine's Assembly Hall or something. My father didn't drink beer because he liked it. What?
My father didn't drink beer because he liked it. So I knew it had to be for the assembly hall.
Oh, okay, I get it. My father didn't drink beer because he liked it, so I knew it had to be for the assembly hall. They delivered it here before the party so he could chill it beforehand in the assembly hall refrigerator. And the wine probably belonged to my father. My father enjoys Western spirits, and wine most of all. And wine, at the same time, was something I enjoyed as well. After my parents died in 1981, I'd gotten wine by bringing it from the main house. But my parents were alive in this world, so I couldn't do that. I stared at the bottles longingly as I tried to open the door, receiving the clack of its lock in response. I took a key from my pocket, unlocked the door, went in, and saw a note addressed to me upon entering. It was from my mother. The note said an accident had suddenly occurred at the Kimiyoshi house, and they'd gone out to help with a memorial service. They'd be late coming back, and so on and so forth. Written as a postscript was a notice that the brewer would be bringing alcohol and to take it inside the front door once I got back for them. I see. That must have been referring to all of this. If the person had come while I was here, I could have told them to put it inside, but I couldn't bear to see them outside like this, put here before I got back. And it would be a pain if my mother started rambling about me being inconsiderate later. I made a sour face, not caring who saw, and pulled the case of beer through the front door. Next, I stood before the wine bottles and solidified my thoughts. Couldn't there have been a slip-up with the order? It was a brewery in a small village. If my father called to say he would order one more bottle, they'd probably bring over another one without a second thought. So what would it matter if one of these disappeared?
Rika.
I always dilute it before drinking, so I'd probably be able to enjoy one bottle of wine for a pretty long time. Despite being in the entrance, I belatedly looked around, grabbed a bottle, ran into my room, and then pushed it into the winter futon in my closet. That wouldn't be used for a while.
Oh, Rika.
Actually, my parents live here too, so I won't have many chances to drink. I ran to the kitchen, grabbed a glass of ice, and a corkscrew, and a carton of orange juice, then ran back to my room. I put the corkscrew on the wine bottle, and was overwhelmed by the urge to wet my tongue with a nostalgic flavor as soon as I could. How was I supposed to survive in this world without enjoying a good wine? I poured some into the glass, and just listening to the orange juice splashing in to fill it up made my mouth water like a dog. If I dilute it this much, it'll look just like orange juice from the outside. But it was a nostalgic flavor that belonged to my world. At one time, this had been the flavor of my tears of defeat, shed for the unthinkable June of 1983. But now, even those tears of defeat felt sweet and tender. Those dead-end worlds were very painful. But I was still surrounded by my kind friends. I had the leeway to choose to surrender to Takano and continue lazily living in that infinite loop. But even that warmth was absent in this world. This made a week now since I came here. With no prospects of returning to my previous world, I'd resolved myself to staying here for a long time, but a weekend had already driven me to drink. It'll be fine. Those worlds had driven me to the same state, and I still managed, lazily doing my best as I soaked in wine, right? I needed to be released from this Rika Furude quickly. Nobody in this world would understand that, even if I explained it. That meant I had no allies here. If I told someone, they'd think I'd gone crazy. But considering this world's Rika Furude, that was only natural. This world's Rika Furude was a dour girl without a single friend. And one day, she'd been hit by a ball in the schoolyard and started saying she didn't belong in this world. If that big doctor, Yamamoto, heard about this, he'd probably make a huge fuss about the impact having caused brain damage. But that would make the most sense to the people who live here.
I do always wonder what happens to, like, the actual Rika conscious.
Mm-hmm.
When just random witch Rika shows up and just steals your body.
Right. At the very least, until I arrived, Rika Furude was Rika Furude, the correct being for this world. Maybe it was more appropriate to say that one day, I, someone different from this world's Rika, appeared and then took over Rika's body.
That is more accurate.
Right. Am I not Rika Furude?
Parasite!
Well, no. This world's Rika Furude was this world's Rika Furude, a different being than me. I'd simply been interpreting her as being the same as me, even when I was in different worlds until now. When I thought about that, leaving aside whether I'd been living happily, I felt like I'd done something bad to this world's Rika Furude. Of course, it was too late to apologize now, and I couldn't give this body back to her anymore. If there was a way to apologize, it would be to acknowledge this world's Rika Furude as a being of her own. Because if I called myself Rika Furude, the girl who already existed would vanish from this life. Which meant the only way to apologize was to not call myself Rika Furude. Well, that had been bothering me for a long time. I've long felt that my young self, pampered as the reincarnation of Oyashido-sama, and my old self, who had awakened and traveled countless worlds, had different personalities. But if I thought of them not as personalities, but as different beings entirely, right now I was no longer Rika Furude. Who am I? I stared vacantly at the wine bottle. Did I like this brand? My father always loved to drink this wine. As a result, I borrowed it in countless worlds and love to drink it even now. Right now, I couldn't even be lazy without borrowing the power of alcohol, and this wine comforted me just a little. At this point, I couldn't go on living without this wine. So in other words, I wasn't alive, but the wine was.
What?
Which meant I wasn't Rika Furude, and that I was the wine. I stared at the Western letters of the brand name written on the wine label, which I didn't know how to pronounce, and thought to myself that it was the name of me. My name is Rika Furude. No, not that, but this Bernkastel. See why I wanted to read this chapter.
Are you fucking kidding me? Are you shitting my pants right now?
Who do you think? I mean, who else could have Frederica Bernkastel been?
Yeah, I mean, Rika's in the name, but it's not gonna piss me off any less, right? I mean, her
She's
name
the wine. The wine is her.
Her
She
name
likes
is
her wine.
Frederica Bernkastel. Like, come on, it's in the name, but I'm still gonna be mad. Man, fuck Frederica.
Name of this episode is Bernkastel.
Fuck you.
You know what Bernkastel is?
Huh.
It's like, if you look it up, it's like a style of building in Germany. What? Or is it a location in Germany?
Bernkastel wine.
It is a... Yeah, it's a location. Bernkastel, Germany. Look up how to pronounce Bernkastel.
Oh, it's a... Really? It's like a champagne?
Fucking pop-up.
Bernkastel,
Bernkastel, Moselle, Saar...
and citrus flavor, which is why it goes so well with orange juice.
Mmm. Oh, I thought she was drinking red wine this whole time, but she's drinking a fucking white? Hell yeah.
Yeah, she's drinking like
Not even a white.
Riesling Splatzia.
We're researching now. Your next lesson, Riesling Splatzia, New York Times. Or Splatzia Riesling.
Late harvest Splatzia.
Okay, so yeah, they're really, yeah, so it is a white wine. It's a very...
I assume this is Cabernet.
Dry is not... What's the opposite of dry for wine?
Wet.
Is it? It's not wet.
Rich? That's a sweet.
It's dry. Dry is like not sweet. Do I have to go?
We're researching. We're learning about Bernkastel.
He's just okay. Wine dry.
So white wine? Yeah, it's a white wine. You think Rika would drink red wine?
That's what I thought she drank. Well, I you know, I never looked it up. Bernkastel sounds to me like a red wine. Like I would expect it on like a very like dark red bottle.
That's fair. I see. I guess I never put much thought into what type of wine she's drinking. But when she said like, "Oh, I dilute it with orange juice," I was thinking about, you're diluting like red wine with orange juice?
So when she said like I diluted enough that you can't even tell, I wasn't thinking she was making a goddamn
oh fuck.
champagne and orange juice.
What is white wine and orange juice? Mimosa?
Mimosa. I didn't know she was making a fucking mimosa well, it's not champagne. It's probably orange sangria, wine and orange juice recipe.
Yeah, a cocktail made with equal parts of sparkling white wine or champagne and orange juice is a mimosa.
Yeah, I didn't realize she was just making mimosas. Actually, that's so much more base than I was thinking it was, because I thought she was just. Well, you just gotta. It's a region. Bernkastel is a region.
Still wines are called non-carbonate. Yeah, I don't think on the wine website we were on, Bernkastel had a sparkling wine. But yeah, I mean, Rika dooming and drinking fucking mimosas is so on brand. Like, it's so on brand. Getting mimosa drunk at like 10 p.m. is so on brand for her.
Rika Furude, Bernkastel, red wine was just like the automatic,
Fill-in?
just like triangle of like these things just make sense together.
Yeah.
But even though I never looked up what a Bernkastel wine was.
Well, now we know it's white wine.
Yeah.
So it's Rika Furude Bernkastel white wine. Sorry, it's Rika Furude Bernkastel mimosas.
Mimosas.
Moog Rika stands for Mimosa Rika, man.
Oh my god, what?
How did we not know?
Alright, change the title of this video to Mimosa Rika.
This game sucks.
You suck.
Alright, let's keep going. Oh, what's you looking at?
I was just checking that there wasn't a red Bernkastel.
Oh. If the color of it disappears with more orange juice, it's white.
Yeah.
Because you're not making a red disappear.
You're not
by putting
making
orange juice in
I was
there.
like, man, that's a lot of OJ.
That's what I'm thinking too. I'm like, oh, so you got OJ with a hint of wine in there. It's like,
But no, that's
yeah.
that's probably a strong mimosa.
Oh yeah, very strong.
Probably like a
fucking
third,
mimosa.
and then the rest is OJ, like right there.
Rika the type of motherfucker that'd be like, pour me a mimosa, you dump 80-90% white wine in there, and then she goes, give me a splash of orange juice.
My name is Rika Furude. No, not that, but this Bernkastel. I don't know what that means. Maybe I'll ask my father. Frederica Bernkastel. Whatever.
God, you're such a larper.
What a silly name that is. My thoughts began to slur and muddle. She came up with the name Drunk.
Of course she fucking did. Because Rika is a fucking loser. She is the biggest loser.
She's just like me, bro. She's just like me.
My favorite part about Rika is she is the most pathetic motherfucker in Hinamizawa. She is fucking low tier, like, loser scum. Dude, she's such a fucking bum. She's a loser. She has no backbone. She's too mopey. She's easily depressed. She has no fucking willpower, no spine, no nothing. And is like, I'm going to fucking rename myself because I've been stealing the name Rika Furude. What is a great name? I'm going to name myself,
What is the name of my wine? I love this wine. I make mimosas all the time.
You know, I'm going to change my name to John Daniels. Like,
Call me Jack from now on.
go fuck yourself, man.
She's just like me, bro.
Go fuck yourself, man.
Does your association of me being Rika Furude even just match even stronger now?
It's still really funny. It's still super
Hopefully
funny.
he'll have one of his edited videos out so I can fucking post a reference to what I mean by that.
One of these days.
One of these days. Or else I'll have to just use that clip you sent me. You got
I have
like 18 months at this point.
Yeah, I got time. I got 25 more clips to put together. I was gonna start working on that again once I start my job.
Yub.
Yes, sir.
My thoughts begin to slur and muddle. Just like they always are. Sorry, you're
Yeah.
being voiced by me, Rika.
It's realism.
Cheers to the shithole of a world.
She's such a bum.
I love her.
God, she's such a
Just
fucking
like
bum.
me, bro.
She's such a bum.
Cheers to the shithole of a world.
Fuck you.